Reggae music is the last bastion of the People's Army. That is a quote from Tony Brand of Cultivated Mind. Now, this quote addresses one of the main reasons that I created Hippie-Fari, the beautiful, life-changing message of reggae music. It was created for social change, and its message is as strong today as it was in the 60s when the first reggae records were released in Jamaica. So welcome to another episode of Hippie-Fari Reggae Radio and Podcast, recorded live in the Omen Honey Reggae Radio and Media Studios in beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida. I am your host, Scotty the High-Strung Hippie, and Hippie-Fari is a podcast where we discuss all things reggae. So if reggae music is your thing, you are in the right place. Now we're doing a free t-shirt and sticker giveaway. And go to YouTube and follow us at Hippie-Fari and download any episode on your favorite streaming platform. Send a screenshot of both of those to hippieFariReggae@gmail.com and I'll pick a winner. Now tonight we have a special guest in the studio. This individual is the epitome of the heartbeat of reggae music. He founded the 10,000 plus member group VB Reggae on Facebook and is a community manager for the amazing community known as the Rootfire Collective. If you're not familiar with Rootfire Collective, you should be. Hop on over there after this podcast, Google Rootfire Collective, and you will be amazed. Some incredible stuff. So please join me in welcoming Glen Allan to the studio. Welcome, Glen.
Hey, thank you, Scotty. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really stoked to be here.
100%, man. We're completely stoked to have you, man. It's been a minute. I know I had some hiccups last week, but I am so glad to have you on the show, man. So once again, thank you for taking time out of your day to join us over here at Hippie-Fari. We are certainly blessed to have you on, brother.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. No worries. Life happens, and it happened to you, so it's no problem. A little delay is better than nothing.
Amen, my friend. I like the way you think. Now, can you just go ahead and take us back to the beginning? What first drew you into the reggae scene, and how did that evolve into creating the VB Reggae Facebook group?
Oh, wow. Okay. I got first introduced to reggae in the late 70s, of course, by the always immortal Bob Marley, the king of reggae, in my opinion. And of course, back then, I'm 55 years old, so, back then, you didn't have the internet to search for new music or like music. So it was going to the record store and hitting the reggae little 8 record pile if you were lucky back then.
Sure.
But I got into all the roots stuff. That's obviously what pretty much was all available at the time. And then that just kept going for my life. I definitely have different opinions on the different styles of reggae.
Sure.
But I'm a roots guy at heart. And the modern American reggae scene, I think is doing some justice. So, but yeah, as an early kid, loved reggae. Was also heavily into punk at the same time, which
I was a huge punk fan, man. 100%.
Yeah, I think the two draw. I think they're basically the same, just
Sure.
different styles of music explaining this. Tackling the same issues, how we say. And then just grew from there. Yeah, just as I got older and was able to explore more music, and as technology, gained on us, we were able to have way more access to Jamaican music I'm sorry, that would be a misnomer. Reggae music from around the world, not just Jamaica.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then to get to how VB Reggae started, my love of reggae, and me and my wife were, at the time she was my girlfriend, but we'd be on a Monday running into some friends. They're like, "Oh my God, wasn't so and so great this weekend?" And I'm like, "How did I not know whoever was playing?"
Right.
and I was like, I like every band. I follow them all on social media, but for whatever reason, I missed something, or didn't even hear it word of mouth, and I was like, "That's wrong." Right. So that I literally started VB Reggae out of the need to know, and actually, I remember getting with a group of my good friends who are all reggae lovers, and we were trying to come up with. My original thought was VB Reggae, but I was like, that
Sure.
kind of really, really pigeonholes us to a very certain location.
Sure.
But in the long run, one of my good friends says, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Well, I'm from Virginia Beach." And he's like, "Okay, they call it VB Reggae." And I was like, "That makes sense to me."
Absolutely.
So started VB Reggae, and it started with like, just like my friends basically, and a few other people who like, we knew liked reggae, or just in the friends of friends type thing.
Right.
And then I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but Virginia Beach at the time when I started VB Reggae had a huge reggae scene.
Sure.
Like we had like 16 local bands. We were on the tour stop of every, local or I'm sorry, a regional or national touring act. So we have 60 reggae shows a year here, probably, not counting the 10 a week local,
Right.
local bands we have.
Right.
So, it was a pretty undaunting task at first. I used to do a weekend update where I listed every show for just the weekends, and I had to do that because I didn't have time to do the whole week. So it was kind of crazy. And slowly, the word got out, and I got to know the bands very well. And nobody was really nobody had created a hub for it at this time. There was rock ones, and there were the fans of the cover bands that were big, but nobody had put reggae into a community where we could grow with each other or whatever. And so yeah, that's how it started. And luckily within like I think 5 years we had 10,000 members. And
Yeah, it's
it's still
incredible.
I'm still on the upswing. We're growing literally every day. We gain at least a few people.
Oh,
I
sure.
figured we plateau because Virginia Beach, although the largest city in Virginia, we
Right.
aren't not. We can't compare to places like Cali or Florida where they have multiple big cities close to each other. But we have a huge following here, so it works out. And now and it's just growing so exponentially beyond my dreams. Like we've lost a lot of the local bands, unfortunately. Um, we're down to I don't know 10 now or so, and
Right.
but now we've gained a national. With Point Break Reggae Festival, we have a
Yep. Yep.
national huge reggae fest. That's and yes, it's in my front yard, and I'm biased. And last year was amazing. We had actually sworn off festivals.
Yeah.
Me and the wife, just because I don't like the large crowds and the
Sure.
30.
I'm with you, brother.
I think they're great for people who don't have every band come through their locality. Um, like anybody living in like the Midwest or those smaller towns that have to travel hours just to the only venue that shows reggae once every 6 months.
Right.
You go to a festival, you get to see 30 bands in 3 days. But for
Yep.
me, I
Yep.
see all those bands once or twice a year within, easy driving distance of the house. So I was just like, I can't do these anymore. Plus, like I said, I'm 55. I'm a,
Yeah. Right.
standing on my feet for 4 days in a row. It's too hard on my body
Oh,
anymore. So,
whatever, man. You're young, dude. Get over it. Come on, man.
I feel 22, but
Amen to that, man.
but my body's taking its toll. So those long days are hard. But I've been so blessed just with like the talent I've been able to work with,
Sure.
and the like the promoters, the venue owners, just everybody. I mean,
Sure.
it helps because I'm not approaching it as a business because VB Reggae is for all intents and purposes, is nonprofit. It's not officially a
Right.
nonprofit, but we make no money on VB Reggae, and
Absolutely.
just like Rootfire,
Yep.
who I guess I'll get into shortly, but
Yep. Yep.
they're all volunteer as well. So
Yes. Absolutely.
all my side work, as I would call it, is 100%. Just because I love it and I want the community to aspire to higher heights, and I want reggae music to be, the new pop. I mean, I hate to
Amen.
say that, but I think the message is clear and it needs to be out there. And from the original '60s all the way up, through all the different sub genres of it. If it's your, because you can love. There's so many different sub genres of reggae now that if you
Oh,
like,
it's incorporated into every single style of music. Every,
yeah. So
I don't think country yet, but it's coming. I guarantee you.
oh no, 100%. You have the guy from Hawaii,
Uh,
Miali. He is, we went to his show and it
oh, okay.
blew
Well,
our minds. Blew
Cat
our
Haley
minds.
does it. Boots
Oh yeah,
rock
Cass Haley.
reggae, Cass
Yes,
Haley,
yes,
yeah. So I stand
yes.
corrected. I corrected myself.
Yeah,
Country as
yeah,
well. So yeah, man, it's
yeah,
across
definitely.
every freaking genre on the planet.
So that's why I'm like, somebody's like, I only like metal. I was like, ooh, hey, here's Aurora Wave. Or I only
Exactly.
like,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, I only like hard. I only like dance music. Oh well, then it's called dance hall, dude. Come
Yeah.
on, it's
Exactly.
literally,
Yep. Yep.
it's covered by reggae. So
Yes.
it's
One hundred
amazing.
percent. Yes. Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I was just talking to uh, Harrison Stafford of Groundation, and we were talking about how amazing it is that reggae is pretty much that one genre that can cross every single genre and has already. From the 90s, bringing it into hip hop to bringing it into the metal now, and then the country, and yeah, just everything. It's amazing. It's
Yep.
absolutely it's mind blowing. And people are listening to reggae. They don't even know they're listening to reggae. Like I like that, and I'm like,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
reggae music, baby.
Yeah. Hey, just take any song and add it one drop, and you got it.
Amen. That's it, man. I love it. So, I know you might have touched on this a little bit, but let's kind of nail it down. What's that particular artist or concert that made you realize that reggae would be a part of your life's work? Was there
Oh,
one defining moment when you were like, boom, that's it. I know I'm going to do this.
yeah. I'd have to go back to. I mean, it has to go back to hearing Bob for the first time,
Okay, sure.
or multiple times over like maybe a 2 or 3 year period when I was very young, and it was just his lyrics and and the music and the mellow. It was just all so perfect to me at the time. And it probably had a lot to do because I was also, like I said, a punk guy, and it was so much musically different than punk.
Oh, sure.
So um, but like if you really, it probably like what re-inspired me the most, which is probably would be actually very recently, and that would be the first time I went to Closer to the Sun in Mexico.
Ah, closer
Um,
to the sun, right on.
and that we've been 5 times since, and that first time was literally a life changing event for me.
It had to be.
It was just, so many. I loved every band that was there. Well, there's always one I probably don't love, but at that event, it's different. And it was
Sure.
such a family. It was intimate. You got to meet everybody. You got to, literally talk to them about the music. It was just, and then on top of it, you're in Mexico in an all inclusive
Oh
resort, so
yeah,
it does not
right.
suck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
Oh,
speaking of that, I was live music in general. There's bands that I hadn't listened to much. I knew who they were. Then I'd see them at a festival, and I was like, man, this is completely different. These guys crush it. Then I get home and I listen to it. I have that appreciation of hearing them live now. So I appreciate their music more, when I hear it on Spotify. So I definitely think, like Closer to the Sun and the live music experience definitely brings you closer to the music and gives you a hell of a bigger appreciation for it than you had before.
oh,
Than you had before.
yeah, absolutely. It is. It is. Yeah, and you're right. Like, and that's why I don't ever skip an opening band I don't know,
Sure.
because
Amen.
some of those opening bands are now some of my absolute favorites, or
Yes.
bands that I've actually seen as an opener who I'm kind of like the first time I'm like, I don't know, you know. I'm not mad I came to them, but I probably won't throw them on my list. And then
Right.
the next time
Right.
you see them, they've grown, and then you're like, wow, these guys have gotten really good, and you remember them from when they were, maybe not so good.
Right.
Uh, and,
Absolutely. But they stuck
and
with it.
and when I see somebody do that, I'm just like, wow, that's how you stay with it and make it work. It's that hard work, that determination, and you know, and I'm definitely highly opinionated about lots of certain bands for whatever my personal reasons are that I don't like them, and a lot of people are shocked to hear some of the bands that I'm not a
That
uh,
that that you're not a huge
they
fan
don't
of, right?
resonate. They don't
Right.
resonate with me
Sure.
for whatever
Sure.
reason that is. Actually, I get joked about it a lot because, regardless of my feelings about you personally, as a reggae band or anything, you'd have to do me incredibly wrong for me not to promote you as much as I promote my favorite band.
Right. Sure.
Uh,
Amen.
you
That's
know, it,
awesome.
it's just not the way I'll do it. That's my personal opinion why I don't like somebody. There might be one exception to that, or maybe two. Like if somebody does friends of mine or another band or a producer or somebody's like straight up is a horrible person, then I'll probably stop promoting that
And
individual's
right,
band. But
absolutely, that goes
there's
without
definitely
saying.
exceptions. But for the 90, just because I don't enjoy your music is not a reason for me not to promote you.
I really, really like that attitude
So
because it is because somebody does enjoy the music and it is all part of building the scene. So you're absolutely right.
yeah,
I love that attitude, man. That's awesome.
I actually
So
just ran into a perfect example. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no, not at all, man. This is your show.
um, I'm helping with a show we're having locally coming up on. I'm going to be a blank at what date it is, but anyways, it's coming up. I think it's April 18th actually. Uh, and it's Russ Baum playing at at a local Chicho's place here. And myself and Rising Vibes
Nice, right on.
and Chicho's, we're all in together on this. It's like a 3 band show. It's free for the public. Just want. And I got hit up by another local venue that is having Mighty Mystic come to town.
Right on.
And he was like, "Hey, Glenn, I got this coming. Blah, 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 blah. Do you mind if I throw it on your page?" And I'm like, "Of course, dude. I 100% report it." I was like, "Oh my god, I just realized the date. I'd love to be there, but I'm kind of involved in this other thing, so I have to.
Yep.
I got to be in this other one because I really like. Oh, not Mighty Mystic. I'm so bad. Mighty Joshua. Sorry, Mighty Joshua. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't been able to catch him in 6-8 months." So I was, or whatever. I don't even know how long it was. But of course, I hit him. I'm like, no, dude. Just because I don't care if I was having a full-fledged, I paid for event, which I've only had like one.
Right.
I would 100% not ever promote your thing going on the same day. It's just people are going to go to what they want to go see. Nobody in the reggae community is going to be like, I'm just going to this because Glenn's promoting it.
Right. If they did, that would be awesome.
That would be a power I wouldn't want to have.
Yeah. Well, that's on that same note, I promote other podcasts that will have the same guests, that I would have on, other reggae podcasts and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's 100%. It is all about the building the community, and the way you do that is more people, and the way you get more people is to have more people involved. And if you're promoting something, even if you have something going on the same day, who cares, man? You know what I mean? Like you said, people are going to go where they want to go anyway, but it's nice to be that voice and to get that message out and to let people know that you genuinely do care about everything that's going on, not just your thing. You know what I mean? It's not a competition.
It definitely is not a competition. No way. It's just like you said it perfect. It's a community. Sure. I'm here because I lift you up. I'm gonna eventually be lifted up as well.
Amen. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not doing it for that reward, but what comes around goes around. You put out good vibes, you get good vibes back. So,
well, you've already been lifted up. I mean, you got 10, and it's growing exponentially, over 10,000 members on a group. And if you pay attention to that group, it's definitely very active. Now, what inspired you to build a Facebook group? You know what I mean? There had you had to be sitting around going, you know what, I'm going to do this. What was that inspirational moment where you were like, you know what, I'm doing this?
As I touched on before, that was like the Monday coming and not knowing, and I would love to be able to remember. I think it was a local band called Sopaz had played at a place we really liked, and I was like, how did I not know Sopaz was playing at whatever it was? And I was like, that sucks. There's no place for me to go find this. I will go to their page and some bands are better at self-promotion than others, especially in the new social media age.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, no, I can create something. And at the time, I was a Facebooker. Yep. I'm on Instagram, but I'm horrible at Instagram. I hate I just don't enjoy posting.
I agree with you. I think it's because we're old, bro.
I think it is. That's what they say, But so I said, okay, Facebook group would be the best way to go. And like I said, it started really small. It's just I think we had 320 members for 8 months.
Right.
But it was active. People were definitely chiming in. I was building relationships with the bands. And then actually at that same time, I found out trying to help the local bands. I've never claimed to be a booker.
Sure.
I've never taken money for booker. I used to call myself the professional middleman. Because I'd be like, I know the dude who knows the dude, so I'll connect you guys and let you talk, and you guys figure out prices and
you're a promoter, man.
Yeah, I I don't need 5% or 10%. No, I don't do that at all.
Right.
So,
Yep. Yeah, because then when it becomes about the money, then it kind of it just gets all screwed
yeah,
up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And
so
now now I do lots of business with lots of bands, because through VB Reggae, I started realizing like these local bands were having a hard time uh, promoting themselves, even if it was simple like. And this was only 5 years, 6 years ago. So like Canva wasn't a big thing yet, making it
right,
real easy to make your own posters. So I was doing
right.
posters constantly for bands, or helping them with their Facebook events or whatever, or just sharing the Facebook events. I would spend hours a day putting it on not just VB Reggae, but any music site in all of that had a touch to our area. And there
Sure.
were a lot of them, just like, music in Virginia Beach tonight, or, entertainment in Virginia Beach. I was like, ooh, they're all open. I can just post anything that had more like a couple thousand people. I'm like, I get one more person to the show. That's how it starts,
That's
right?
awesome,
So,
man. Beautiful.
um, and then I got into actually doing like I do a lot of logo design for some bands.
Oh, cool, man.
I also started my own print company, so I print and do a plethora of merch for a bunch of different bands.
Yeah, and well, if you talk
Um,
about it later, but the people are going to be surprised. I got an inside look at the VB Reggae merch. Did it come out yet?
it has not, because
Okay.
I've been so busy. Just cannot drop my website yet.
Well, it's
It's so
good. It's good. That's all I'm going to say. It's good. So
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
everybody be on the lookout for that because it's good stuff.
Yeah, the merch. I've been slinging VB Reggae merch like out of the back of my truck for years. I kind of slowed that down because we lost like one of the best venues in Virginia Beach for reggae. It was this really cool place called the Boulevard Bistro. They basically every local band was just on a rotation there, so every Friday, Saturday night, you knew where to be for like the
That's
best
great.
local reggae bands. Unfortunately, just through bad business and some regulations of an airfield that's near us and stuff, they had to shut down.
Nah, shit happens.
And
That sucks.
basically, that was like the home for VB Reggae at the time for years, and
Right.
so I could carry merch with me. Now I'm just like, I'm not carrying merch too.
I hear you. Yeah,
I mean, for a few reasons. One, because I don't want to step on an artist's toes and take away from their merch sales. I don't want somebody like,
absolutely.
if you can buy the band shirt, go buy the band shirt. You can always buy a VB Reggae shirt. So,
Sure, 100%. I like that.
um, now of course the local bands, half of them I was making their merch for, so they'd be more than happy to, you know,
Sure,
let me sling my stuff with them. But,
sure, absolutely.
um, but yeah, so I do. I can't say all the local reggae bands, but 99% of them I did something for, shirts, stickers, whatever.
That's fantastic,
And I
man.
expanded my business now. I have laser engravers, and just I can do really sick stuff now. So,
Oh, great. Well, I know who to talk to because
it's
for
yeah,
my podcast.
yeah. I mean, it's it's just I've been very lucky to run into or to have the knowledge to help people
Yes.
out. And at the same time, and I'm not saying I definitely are making money on the merch side, but I mean it's not. I mean, I have a real day job. I'm a
Yeah.
what's called an equipment engineer. I work for a telecom company. I've been there for like 17 years.
Oh, that's great, man.
So I don't do any of it for the money. I do it because I love it. But on that same note, yes, I'm not giving away merch.
No,
I
absolutely.
do donate a crap ton of it, but
Right.
and in the same thing as Rootfire. My biggest thing was I knew these bands couldn't come up with like a couple $100 to pay for their first merch order,
Yep.
because I know that there's a lot of money. These guys aren't
Yep.
stick figure touring and making incredible money every show. These guys are barely scraping by. This
Making
dude
it,
walks out of a bar with $25.
exactly. Yeah, after you've eaten and after you got your Taco Bell or your Wawa after the show, you literally have nothing.
Exactly. So my first thing was, hey, I will 100% finance this. I will make whatever order you want for our agreed price, but you don't owe me until you sell your merch.
Beautiful.
And no interest rates, no nothing on top, just
That's
100%.
awesome.
Here's a $500 order. You owe me $500. And other than the few mishaps at my very first start of all that, everybody has always been I usually get paid back after like maybe one, if not two shows.
That's awesome.
And then, they sold all their stuff and then they need more. So I'm like, okay, we'll do another one. And at that point, they could be like, oh, but we have this, because my marketing strategy is whatever it costs me, or, for them to buy, if they can't double that price,
Right.
then something's wrong.
Right.
So let's, make the math easy. I sell them a shirt for 10, they sell it for 20. I'm obviously not making 10, I'm probably making 3, but they're making $10 every shirt. And that's that's new pedals and drumsticks and
Oh yeah,
all
absolutely.
this, or helping pay the sound guy, or the new van or whatever it is, and that's what I've always thought. And that's the same mentality I have with promotion. I'm like, if I can get just one more person to the show who buys 3 beers at the bar, the place now is happy that this reggae guy is here, and some, people are buying 3 beer, it's
100%.
just it's it's organic, but it grows exponentially, because
Sure does.
As these places take on reggae, you watch those nights get more and more popular, and they have more people, more people's in seats, more alcohol sales. That makes the place love reggae more, and it just
That's it.
and it keeps going,
And
so.
Let me go ahead and throw something at you real quick. Are you familiar with Three Little Birds Bandcamp? Have you ever heard of them before?
I'm not only familiar, but I am a member.
Okay,
I am a host with Three Little Birds.
Okay, good. All right, yeah. I was gonna say, when we're talking about, a bass player for a reggae band, getting paid, walking out, having like $10 left in his pocket. Well, Three Little Birds is a beautiful thing because they actually step in and help out with the lodging. If the people that are listening right now aren't familiar, threelittlebirdsbandcamp.com, and Glenn said he was a host. What they basically do is they pair bands with house hosts, and whenever they're on tour, they have a host in that area. The band has a free place to stay, and that saves them a lot of effing money. You're looking at a minimum, 4 guys, 2 guys to a room, $150 a night. It's $300 a night, man. You're on an 18-stop tour. That's a lot of money. You know what I mean? That's all your money. So it's an absolutely beautiful thing. It's just another part of the community that helps grow the scene, and that helps these underground bands push harder, and they can actually focus on the music more so than having to worry about where they're going to have a place to stay. So, how after hearing all this awesome stuff, man, how do you balance promoting local talent while still connecting to the fans that are on the broader reggae scene?
Oh, wow.
Because you do connect. I mean, obviously, I don't live in VB. My friend Seneca, she's a member. She lives in South Carolina. I live here. My friend Crystal lives in South Carolina. You got a lot of people that are not in Virginia Beach, so that are, nationwide and stuff. So how do you balance that and the local?
Well, that's a good question. But, I mean, so the majority of the outside of Virginia Beach members that we have are people minus you, of course, and actually all the examples you just made are people that we and my wife have connected to through reggae, like
Sure.
the CCTS people. We're CCTS people are a very tight family of like whatever it is up to now, 3,500 people.
Right.
And through all the other groups that I've been members of since, forever, Stick Figure Family, or the Stupid Heads,
Sure.
or the Fortunate Fools. So I think it's the love of reggae, because I mean, that was one of the main points of VB Reggae is, if I can hit somebody in Florida, such as yourself, or Colorado or California, and I can introduce them to 10 local reggae bands, Virginia Beach.
Amen.
And the most perfect example is now and will forever has been Cultivated Mind.
Oh, yeah, dude. Had him on the show. Huge. Me and my wife are die-hard fans.
Yes, Tony is he's
a badass.
I'm honored to be able to call him one of my good friends, and he is just one of the most musically talented people I've ever met. Like, he can play so many instruments.
Yeah.
He's a looper, and nobody would ever know that unless you go to a show and see it's just one dude up here killing it. And
his drummer TC is amazing too, but Tony is phenomenal.
And now he's adding the whole band back like he had many years ago. Matter of fact, at Point Break, he'll be full band, not just himself. and that's no offense to any of the other loopers, Mike Love and all those guys, they all do it as well. But
Oh yeah,
Tony just his talking about going back to the fusion of reggae and different musical
oh
styles.
yeah, jazz and
I
all that,
mean,
man.
jazz, blues,
Spanish
that
music
man,
like salsa,
yeah,
he'll throw in there with
yeah,
the horns.
he just makes it, and promoting somebody like him. I mean, how can you not? That dude
Yeah.
is just, and he's the most humble guy in the world.
Yep.
He's always blessed VB Reggae and always shouts us out. And he's just,
Oh, he
I
does.
mean,
Whenever he was on my show, he did a couple of shout outs, which I had already been a member of VB Reggae, but that's kind of what it the light bulb went off, and I was like, ding, that's who I'm gonna have on the show. You know what I mean? So it was because of his shout out where I was like, that'd be a great, Glenn would be fucking amazing to have on the show. So
I
yeah,
appreciate, I
yep,
appreciate Tony for everything he ever says and
yep.
does. And I wish I was as eloquent as a speaker as he is, because that man is a wordsmith.
Oh yeah, his lyrics
He
are absolutely phenomenal.
he's just, yeah, he's
Yep.
absolutely amazing. He's
And I love the way that he can kind of make with some of his stuff. He can kind of make you laugh when it's still serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he plays the angry reggae. He plays
Yeah. Oh
a
yeah.
happy reggae.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has he expands all genres
Yeah.
of it. He really does.
And he carries that
It's
message,
great.
so I love it.
And not to mention, and his voice is really good too, which is,
Oh yeah.
that's a big plus. So,
100%.
but but yeah, as and I think I don't think it's anything I did to help.
Right.
I mean, other than start VB Reggae, I think the majority of it comes from, the individual's love of reggae that has them want to reach out and find, different, uh, uh, yeah, that was weird.
What's up?
There was some, like
Oh.
audio.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I hit the mute button on your mic on accident. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, I think it's that individual curiosity of the people who are like, oh wait, it has reggae in the name, let me check it out, and then they're like, oh, and and like I said, we don't stop any. I mean, okay, that's a lot. I will stop promoting some stuff. Like I don't like any outwardly. Like I'm sorry if your poster is a lady in a Jamaican bathing suit with her big butt across the whole thing. You're not coming on my site.
Amen, 100%. I used to have a record label, and it was a like a dance music techno based label, but that was one of my big no nos. A lot of the people in the breakbeat community, they would on the front of their albums were girls in thongs, and I was like, we are not having that on my label, man. We're just not.
Yeah,
That's not it. That's not how we promote music. I'm sorry.
But other than that, if you're an inspiring reggae person and you just are trying to get heard and you put your you put your YouTube video on my site, and I say this with a grain of salt, but my thing was always like, all you have to do is have a reggae thing anywhere in your description, like anywhere, like I cover Bob Marley. Okay, cool. Then come on my page. I'm
Nice.
not. It that was a hard pill at first because I do promote a whole bunch of bands that are, I think we talked before, who aren't exact or aren't reggae at all, for that matter.
Right. Right. Right.
But for whatever reason, resonates with the reggae community.
Sure.
Probably like Little Stranger would probably be the
Just
best
gonna say Little
example of that.
Stranger. That's so funny.
Oh, but I would consider others like Bubba Uglies. I mean, or Joey Harcum,
Right.
Ballyhoo.
Yep.
Like Beach Rock, the Wayland Brothers, the Race
Yep.
Brothers. For some Florida guys,
The Intracoastals are from around here.
Yeah.
The same. Yeah, they're very
Yeah,
good. Yes.
for whatever reason, they blend with reggae, better than others. So nowhere in the Little Strangers thing has the reggae ever been mentioned, but they're 100% they're getting promoted across my site. Not only because they are incredibly awesome people, and I happen to be a huge fan, and I've been blessed to work with them as well over
Oh, great.
for certain events or whatever. But they are, yeah. It's so hard to explain. We've actually had meetings and talks about this at Rootfire about inclusion of bands that are 100% nothing to do with reggae.
Right.
And everyone that has ever come across to, let's say, a vote, I wouldn't say vote, but yeah, You know,
Sure. Just yeah, I get
there's
it.
never been somebody be like, no, I don't count them because we're like they've been on tour with everybody. Come on,
Sure.
they got.
Yep.
It's not a hard decision to make in the long
Absolutely.
run. Um,
100%. That's awesome, man. So could you go ahead and share a moment when the VB Reggae community came together in like a powerful or surprising way? Yeah, like a show, an event,
oh
maybe
yeah,
something special, like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like something like had happened and they were coming to like a fundraiser or something along
yep,
those lines.
yeah, absolutely. We had an absolutely incredible, talented gentleman here. Who was had been in multiple bands or played in multiple bands, and he unfortunately passed away.
Oh man.
Um, his name was Derek Moore, and
Okay.
he was one of the best by far, and not just musically. He was a surf instructor. He was just a all around great guy. I've been blessed to know his family very well. Anyways, he passed away, and so we put on a benefit at a local brewery here called New Realm, and that was my very first like fully in charge of everything event ever. And I mean, I definitely had. I mean, it wasn't all me by any means. I mean, New Realm and multiple other musical people and sound guys all came together to make it work. But I was like I was the cat wrangler of that one, and it went off without a hitch. We
That's great.
raised. I'm gonna lie about the amount of money we raised, but we raised a lot of money, and I can't remember the amount off the top of my head. But it
All
was
for his family and
Oh
all
yeah,
of
all
that.
for the off. Yeah, he left
That's great.
uh, kids behind, unfortunately,
Yeah,
and
that's so sad.
so we helped raise as much money as we could, and it was literally a stellar event. And that's a perfect example as a reggae community because every local band volunteered to play for free.
No,
Every
yeah,
last one
hell
of them.
yeah, beautiful.
Sound guy played for free. I made shirts for free, and all the proceeds went to the family. The whole nine yards. Everything was we paid for nothing. We didn't pay for the sound guy. We didn't pay for the venue, the
That's great.
bands. All volunteered. It was the epitome of what our scene should be.
Amen.
I mean, I definitely think bands need to get paid. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying when something like that and the community comes together, it
Yeah,
was an amazing, amazing event. Tons like I said, literally every band was there. It was really fun. So
that's
it,
fantastic, man.
it was unfortunately for a horrible circumstance, but it
Sure,
was an amazing event. So
sure. And I always close my show with this quote, but since we're talking about community so much, I'll say it. It's a personal quote of mine. I love it. Strengthen unity, build your community, and that's right there. What you just described is the epitome. There is you build your community because there is strength in unity. You know what I mean? And for all those people to come together and to help his family out, that just shows right there the awesome power of community building and people being unified. Because there is strength in unity 100%,
yeah,
and you
that's
get that strength by building that community.
yeah, you need to get that copyrighted, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get some teas, but yeah, I love it, man. It's the epitome of everything that I that pretty much describes me. If I was in the dictionary, that would be my quote, to live by, and I do. I'm always trying to to build the community, and make it bigger internationally even. So it's a beautiful thing when the people actually do come together for a cause like Derek Moore. Then you can see, wow, this is real. You know what I mean? This actually is working. This is amazing, and it's beautiful to be able to see that. It's unfortunate to have to see it through, a fellow member of the community passing, but it's amazing to to be able to step back and look and see the work that you put in, bearing the fruits. So that's very beautiful, man. Good for you. That's really awesome to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that story, man. I definitely appreciate it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, yeah. And shout out to the whole Moore family. They have been they went through or still, I'm sure they're still feeling the repercussions. I mean, you
Oh,
can't
sure.
lose a son and a father and all that.
No.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, he was a special individual, and he will always be missed.
That's beautiful. Well, shout out, Derek. Much love, brother. Um, so let's kind of scoot on to some fun stuff, man. As the community manager for Rootfire Collective, how do you describe your role in building and nurturing that community? Because I know your official title is community manager, Rootfire Collective, but a lot of people are probably like, "What is that?" So, kind of go ahead
Yeah,
and give it to us, man. Let's hear it.
yeah. So that position's kind of morphed a little bit from when I got started. I guess how we got started was a gentleman by the name of Reed Foster, who
Oh yes, I
is
love Reed. He's such a great guy.
he is uh, I don't even know. I don't want to use the word God of the business, but
I
he knows a lot of good stuff.
I pick his
He's
brain like once every 3 weeks. I do a Zoom call with him, and so yeah,
yeah he
extremely
is
incredible individual.
yeah he is. Uh, he somehow heard through the grapevine about VB Reggae, and I was contacted by him and his organization, and they asked if I would. Basically the short story is they wanted to create VB Reggae in every town that could support a like community.
That's great.
Um, and they wanted to use and actually the same questions were asked as you asked me, like, how did you come to be? How did you grow so fast? How did you organically get so big so fast? And I'm like, I'm not even on TikTok or any of this stupid
Exactly,
stuff,
man. Yeah, yeah.
I was like, it really just kind of did its thing, I just, I mean, it's definitely long hours, and I got to give a shout out real quick to Brittany Allen, unrelated to me, but she is my
Right.
right hand woman of VB Reggae.
I know Brittany.
She rocks it. Without her, I mean, it's gotten so overwhelming with the logistics of it. She's just amazing. But
I've
anyways,
talked with her back and forth via Messenger, and she's very, very, very cool, man. Very cool.
yeah, she is, and she's absolutely amazing person. But anyways, yeah, so Reed contacted me, and we decided to start a partnership with VB Reggae and them,
That's
and
so cool.
then became community manager, and it originally started with multiple different. I mean, we kind of all kind of work on little things here and there, but what it's morphed into is now I pretty much run the Rootfire Reggae calendar.
That's great.
Um, and for people who don't know that, you can just go to rootfire.net and click on the calendar right there, and it geosyncs you to your location, and you can set it to how many miles you feel like traveling, and it will show you every reggae show in your area.
That's wonderful.
Um, and as we're growing, we're hoping to pull more and more people. So, hey, if you're in a town, you got a good reggae scene, and you'd like to be a local host of your community, please hit me up via VB Reggae or Rootfire, either way, and we will get you started. It's a lot of work, I will tell you,
Oh yeah.
but it keeps you busy,
It's
especially if
rewarding
you're in a
though.
really busy location. But yeah, the rewards are just. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how it repays you in ways that are non-monetary. Let's just say
Yeah. Oh
that.
yeah.
It's
100%. And
so yeah.
I was also going to say Rootfire's release radar. I go to that one before I go to Spotify. That's the first one that I go to every single week to see what's new
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what's coming out. So
Rootfire is an outstanding resource for all things reggae.
100%, 100%.
We have incredible writers who do informational pieces on every subject reggae. Not just
Yep.
stars. We have if you don't know what Rootfire does, they really just help empower artists.
Yep.
We give interest-free loans for studio time.
Yep.
We're trying to basically sidestep the record industry and allowing bands to have full control of their music. So
Sure.
hey, here's a loan, make your music, and just pay us back in a year, and you keep everything else. You keep the licenses, everything. It's all you. We're just
Yep.
helping you get there.
It's
Um,
such a beautiful thing, dude. It kind of makes you want to like scream happy scream. You know what I mean? To know that there's a collective out there like that. You know what I mean? That's actually hitting the ground for reggae music. That is freaking incredible.
Yeah. The big stat is that the Rootfire Cooperatives, they've done 12 albums to date. One has been nominated for a Grammy, and we've had 6 reach #1 on the Billboard Reggae chart.
Freaking
So
amazing.
that's not bad out of 12, 12 albums, and you have a Grammy and 6 reach #1. So
No, that's
it's
really
it's
good
it's
numbers,
crazy.
man.
And being able to, like I said, and that just basically Rootfire just extends my reach nationwide. Hopefully I can help other localities build a community like VB Reggae, and they're all intertwined. It's like a big spider web. We all kind of, I probably know somebody in every one because I've run into them at a festival or a show at some point. You know,
Right.
and that definitely helps foster the community when you already have that personal interaction with somebody. But
Sure.
even if we don't, I now have friends because I've met them through what we're doing. Um,
Sure.
so
It's
uh,
amazing.
the calendar is a lot of work. I do that pretty solely right now. We do have algorithms and stuff that search for reggae shows. That works very well. We don't miss any of the big guys, but we also gather a
Sure.
whole lot of stuff that we wouldn't really consider what we want. Like, Friday night reggaetron at Club New York every Friday night.
Yeah.
That's not what that's not who we're here to help. Like, definitely, I think, in my opinion, Rootfire and VB Reggae are here to help those up and coming bands. It's slightly yes, 100% they're on our calendar. I promote everything, everybody, but like
Sure.
slightly stupid stick figure. They don't need my help.
You're
They
hearing out
really
bands
don't.
like mine, and I can't wait for. Are you familiar with Seed from a Tree? Have you ever heard of Seed from a Tree before? It's amazing, amazing roots reggae music, right here out of Florida, St. Augustine, Florida. It's a band I play percussion for. So we will definitely be utilizing Rootfire 100%.
Oh yeah, it's super easy. It's constantly evolving. In our things, because I know bands are crazy. Like, especially these, like, I like to call them working touring bands, and there's the guys who have real jobs and then take
Yeah,
off like 3 months to go on the tour.
yeah,
Uh, and, I know you guys don't have, they don't have their girlfriend traveling with, or they don't have time for like the social media side of it. And,
right.
I mean, some do and some don't. I mean, I think that's really important nowadays.
Oh, it's
That
extremely important, man.
you,
It's
you, you
difficult.
know,
It's just a lot of work, man.
yeah, you need to be on everything, and that's one of the things I do love is watching these bands progress with their whatever you want to call it, their influence, their
Sure.
social media stuff. It's great to see people. Like, I hate it. I hate being on camera. I hate speaking. I just not something I enjoy.
You're doing
But
pretty good at it
watching,
right now, man.
I appreciate you, but
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy it. But like when I see, like, I hate naming people, but like when I watch, like, somebody start and they're raw, just very raw, and then it's literally like not even a year later they're like comfortable, and and they found their style, and it's so cool to watch, and then you're like, oh man, now I really just want to watch this stuff. um it's, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, so the community got together. We're slowly growing. We do not have a lot of chapters right now.
Right, right.
Uh I always joke, like, I love it to people, and I get it because not every place has that. Like, people always say Florida and California are the reggae scenes, and I'm like, I'd agree to that as a state, but
Sure.
as a city, nobody beats Virginia Beach. It just
Right.
doesn't happen. We have so many bands just in our one city. Not, you can't say that for, like, whatever, San Diego or
Sure, sure,
St.
sure.
Petersburg or whatever.
Yep, yep.
But at the same time, Virginia is not that. We're East Coast. We're not a huge state compared to these other states. So I mean, it makes sense. But
Right.
um, we have, we're trying to ever expand. Always looking for people to help.
And that's beautiful. There you go, people. If you want to get involved and do something absolutely phenomenal and be involved with a 100% amazing grassroots organization, Rootfire needs you. So there you go. You just heard it.
Yep, absolutely. Like I said, if you have a community, you have reggae shows more than, like, once a week, then You know, it's or not even that. I mean, because people want to know,
Yeah,
especially in those
sure.
states, that don't get a lot of reggae. It's
Right.
hard for Virginia Beach to keep up because we have so much reggae. But then you have places, and this
Like
is off the top of my
Minnesota, places in
yes,
Minnesota. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Idaho
yeah,
that
yeah,
has
yeah,
one town that has one
yeah.
bar that plays reggae.
Arizona has a huge scene, yeah, and you wouldn't know
Yeah,
it unless you thought about it. But there's a lot of damn good reggae that comes out of Arizona. But I mean, and Arizona would be a great place to have,
yeah.
um,
So
the towns in Arizona. Yeah,
you know, and quite frankly, the smaller the town, the smaller the amount of reggae you get, the easier the job is.
sure,
You know,
exactly, right.
I mean, work smart, not hard, but and
Amen.
and it works out, and I've been, it has been infinitely blessed to me to be able to experience things because of my connections I've made by doing this, and it's just, I mean, I get treated like family almost
Sure,
everywhere I go, and
sure.
it's just absolutely, it warms my heart, man. It really does. It feels good to be able to, you know, you know, be around your favorite musicians. I mean,
Yeah.
it's to
Hmm.
me, it's just, and all these guys are way younger than me for the most
Oh
part.
yeah, 100%.
You
Well,
know,
me too. I mean, I'm 46, but I mean, yeah, it's still, it's we're the senior citizens, man.
that's for sure. And that's why, and that's always kind of cracks me up because, as you asked me earlier about what got me into reggae, and then when I'm talking to these younger fans and they're like, "Oh my God, Stick Figure changed my life," and I'm
Right.
all like, "Oh wait, oh
Yeah,
yeah,"
exactly.
because
Yeah. Yeah, they're younger.
that makes sense
Yep,
because
yep,
you're like 22 years old. I get it.
yep. Yeah, I'm like
It's
Peter Tosh and Augustus Pablo, and they're like, "Who the hell is that?"
right.
I'm like,
Yeah,
eh. Yep,
exactly. Yeah, you start
yeah,
going like that always cracks me up when I see like the polls or whatever on Facebook, like, who's your favorite reggae band? And it's the top 25 is all within the last 5 years.
sure, 100%.
You know,
Yep.
Bob doesn't make it,
Right,
the Wailers, Peter Tosh, Buddha
right.
Baruka, no,
Yep,
no,
yeah.
nobody's on that list.
That's funny, man.
Not even Steel Pulse, who's still
Right.
like touring all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
yep, yep.
what? And I
Burning
get it.
Spear. I mean, come
I,
on.
I just got Burning Spear tickets actually.
Ooh,
So
nice. Yeah,
they're
baby.
coming to they rebuilt an old, it's been nationwide news, but we have a new music venue being built. It'll be ready in like next month.
Oh, incredible.
It's called the Dome.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
we used to have the Dome down at the Virginia Beach, and 1,000 awesome artists played like Jimi Hendrix and Three Dog Night, and it was like the place to go back in the day. Um, and Pharrell, like famous Pharrell, um, is making a giant surf park, and included in that is a giant, I think it's 3,500 people
Oh, that's beautiful.
amphitheater.
That's perfect
It,
for reggae music.
indoor, outdoor, and Burning Spear and Ziggy Marley are coming the
Oh,
end of summer. So
oh,
yeah,
that's
that'd be
gonna
a
be
good one.
fantastic. Because it's that number right there to me is that's a big crowd, but that's also intimate too for a band like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So
I'm not a big fan of amphitheater shows. I mean,
right.
in the pit, that's all right, but
Yep.
yeah, I like the under 5,000 crowd. Let's say it's personally, just personally.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
no, yeah.
I'm a big fan of bands coming by and having a very high ticket price for like a super intimate session.
I would take that in a
I
million
would,
years.
I would sell my place. I would sell everything to do that every time. I
Yeah,
just, if
I'm
it's
with you.
300, let's say 300, 350 people
No, that's
for
beautiful.
for
Yep.
triple the ticket price all day
Yep.
long, especially with the prices of tickets. I mean, I know people, and I'm not talking the big guys, but $30 to be in an arena with 1,500 people, or $90 to be in a place with 300 people. I 100% pay $90 to be with 300
Oh,
people
100%, man. Hands
every
down.
day of the
I
week.
totally would too, man. I'm with you. Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm
Ah,
really stoked, but to see, and this is, I'm always bad for saying this, but you're probably not going to get to see Burning Spear too many more times. I mean,
exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, they're gonna get to a point where they're gonna want to stop touring. You know what I mean?
right,
It's
you know,
bands get to that age. I mean, unless you're the Grateful Dead. That they're freaking amazing. They just live to tour. But I mean, most people are like, I kind of want to you know be at home for a minute. You know what I
right.
mean?
And that same caveat, nothing's worse than going to see that and for us, probably more like childhood bands that you loved, and then you see them now, and you realize they're all like 12 years older than you, and they should have
Yeah.
stopped touring a long time ago, and you're just
Yep.
like, oh,
Yep. That's so funny, man.
nothing breaks your heart more. It's just like,
Right. Yep. Yep.
I should have just skipped that last one because I had such fond memories of the last time I saw him.
Yeah. Yeah. When he's walking out on stage with a walker, you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
So,
Unless you're in Israeli vibrations, because
right.
it's different. But,
Amen. Israel Vibration is amazing. That's good stuff, man. And speaking of that, now reggae definitely has deep roots and a global footprint. Facts. Now, how do you see American reggae evolving, and where does VB Reggae fit into that story?
oh yeah, so yeah, and I like the American reggae. I do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, I have constant discussions about what we should call our, new wave of reggae.
Right.
Uh, and I like modern American reggae.
Modern roots, maybe. Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I would say that too, but I think it's so much more leaning to like a rockier, poppy sound, so to
Mm-hmm,
speak.
mm-hmm.
Uh, like I would not really consider any of our current top American reggae bands roots at all.
Right.
I would definitely say they are all flavored by it, like as they should be.
Mm-hmm,
I think they put their own mix on it, as they should have.
mm-hmm.
I mean, there's definitely been bands that I feel are more rootsy than others.
Sure.
But I love the genre. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love roots reggae as much as I love modern American reggae,
Right.
as much as I dislike dancehall. I am not a dancehall guy.
I'm not a dancehall guy either. I can listen to it, but I'm not a huge fan. I never have been.
Yeah, like if I'm at your house and you're playing it, I'm fine with it.
Absolutely.
I'm not. It's not getting played in my house though.
Right. Exactly.
Not by me.
Right.
It's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just but yeah, but as it evolves, as we've seen it evolve, even from its, I mean, I do agree that Sublime is kind of like the godfather of our scene.
Sure.
I think they definitely brought the reggae sound into that rock punk beat.
Absolutely. But then you have
and,
the earlier ska bands that kind of did it too. Like your Operation Ivy and things like that.
Yeah,
They brought that ska sound in. So absolutely.
Yeah, into the more modern stuff, and then then you got your more rocky guys, and then and actually, the more and more I become musically informed by people like Tony from Cultivated Mind, who
Sure.
Because I'm not the guy to be asking about anything music. I don't know notes or any of that stuff. I just know what I like.
Right. Yeah.
But as I learn, like, oh hey, that's totally from this jazz thing, or this is from whatever. It's just I mean, VB Reggae will promote it, like I said, if you have reggae in your description,
sure,
I got you 100%.
That's beautiful.
Whether you're on the whatever subgenre of it, even dancehall. There's a dancehall guy coming through. You're getting promoted.
Yep.
I probably won't be at your show, but I will 100% I'll put as much as much effort into you as anybody else.
Beautiful.
VB Reggae, I love the modern scene. I mean, I love our scene right now. I do. I love, anybody's top 25 is probably shared right now. I mean, they might be a slightly different order, but I'm guaranteeing, everybody has Stick and Stupid and Fortunate Youth and whoever, and this is not because I'm biased, because because I kind of work for companies that have connections, but the elevators of the movement right now are just blowing my mind.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you why, because they have an incredible, pardon my language, fucking manager. I mean? Well, and they deserve it. They are extremely talented bands, extremely. But their management is phenomenal. To see how far they've gone. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're on a rocket. Both of them are on a rocket trajectory, in my opinion. I mean, I just traveled to New Zealand and Australia to follow the Elevators and the Wailers on tour.
That's great.
That's how much I love the Elevators, and I mean, I think they're above talented. To see the movement and Josh get to be with their
Yes,
hero Nick Hexum and drop a single with Nick Hexum. I mean, that is just. I'll give a shout out to 311 too, because they definitely put
sure,
reggae stuff into
sure,
their older stuff or whatever.
sure.
And just and that's what every time I see something like that, it just that's that's what only reason I'll ever have whatever the kids call it now, FOMO or whatever it is.
Yes, yes.
From the only thing I hate about missing these festivals and some of the bigger shows is when they have those collabs that you will never see.
Right, right.
Again,
Yeah,
you'll probably see it on that tour or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But when so and so who collabed comes on stage for that
yeah.
song,
Oh, it was
and
absolutely amazing at Reggae Rise Up when Kabaka Pyramid came out with Tribal Seeds. I was like, oh god, yeah, that was,
we
dude.
saw that. Yeah, so that
We
happened
were like, what?
at the show here too, and yeah, and I've been lucky enough to meet Kabaka a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other local organizations I work with locally have very good connections with him.
That's great.
Um, but yeah, he came out at our show at Tribal Seas as well.
Yeah, yeah,
But
fantastic.
see, but Tribal Seas show for me was lackluster only because the crowd was so crazy at the one I was at. It
Right.
was just so overpacked, and people just it didn't have that
Yeah, I hear you.
normal
Yeah.
reggae vibe.
That is
Uh,
our me and my wife's collectively. I mean, because I'm like 90% when if you're in the car with me listening to reggae, it's roots reggae. Uh, late early to mid, maybe even to late 70s roots reggae. But Tribal Seeds. If I'm listening to American reggae, that's definitely our favorite band, man, without a doubt, hands down, not even a question.
that is my stepson's favorite band as well.
Yes,
He
yes.
he is a Tribal Seeds fanatic,
Oh
and
yeah,
and rightfully so. And they're definitely high on my list. Currently, I 100% put the Elevators number one.
yeah, yeah. But we're
Not
huge
because
Elevators fans too. Huge, love them.
yeah, I mean not just because of Reed, but I got engaged at their show. They treat us like family every time they see us, and we've
That's so awesome.
seen that. Actually, one of my best friends, actually, we call him our concert going buddy. His name's Sean Davenport. Um, Point Break, when Elevators play, will be his 50th Elevators show.
Haha, that's great.
That
Oh,
weekend happens to be his 55th birthday weekend,
that's
and
cool, man.
he gets to see him basically in our front yard on the beach. So
That's
I
so
mean,
wild, man. Good for him.
and
That's
that
great.
that kind of stuff, and that's who I actually went to Australia with. He taught me into going with him. At first, I was not going to pull the trigger on the financial side of that, and then I was
Right.
like, what am I ever going to have this opportunity again?
Yeah, amen.
So
No kidding.
and as a side note, absolutely amazing trip. Australia, New Zealand, so beautiful. My partner Sean absolutely killed the scheduling, and we got to see the band in 3 different places that were, you know, amazing. And not to mention they were with the Whalers too, so really, that did the suck as well. So
That's
it it,
awesome, man.
it was an amazing thing.
Well,
So
that's
yeah.
actually a great segue into my next question. What are some under the radar artists or bands that you think people should definitely be paying more attention to right now?
Well, first and foremost, cultivated mind
Yeah, amen.
by the highest, local Hampton Roads guy out in
Yep.
Hampton currently. He mixes every genre together, but still keeps it hardcore reggae. Uh, if you haven't, check him out. He's on all platforms. Cultivated Mind, Tony
Amen.
Brand,
Yep.
big ups. He is amazing. Um, I like a lot of Florida bands actually who are like up and guys, like Drifting Roots a lot.
Drifting Roots are killer.
Yeah,
Really good guys, man.
I like Brothers Within.
Yes, great stuff.
Um, Joey Caldiero.
Yep, yep.
His covers, I think he does a really good, and his originals for that matter. He's really awesome as well. Um, Definitely can't give a shout out. She just recently moved to Baltimore, but Ashley LaRue, the Ashley LaRue band, she she's amazing. If you haven't had a chance to check her out, check her out. She is incredibly talented. Um, Also from up in the DC area. Oh, wait, are they in DC? Oh, I'm gonna mess this up.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
I'm trying to go through all the little bands. If you Joey Harcum,
Oh
not
yeah,
reggae,
Harkham, man. Yeah, he's still
but
phenomenal though.
uh, but he definitely tours with all the bands. He did run. He used to be in Pasadena, a reggae band out of Maryland. Uh, he does like a. It's called Americana. It's kind of folky, kind of rocky. All his songs are catchy and fun. He is awesome. Um, yeah, I'm trying to. I don't want to just list off all the local guys.
Right, right.
So I'm trying to spread it out, and of course I'm East Coast specific because that's who I get more interaction with or whatever.
Sure.
Florida Days just started up down in
Yes,
Florida.
yeah, I just did a podcast with Scott. Really, really, really great guys, man. Yeah, fantastic
Yep.
band, phenomenal, great music.
I also dig. There's so many Florida bands. This is so funny. I dig Treehouse out of South
Treehouse is
Carolina.
fantastic. Yeah, Myrtle Beach represent.
Yep. Same with Sons of Paradise.
Yep, Sons of Paradise, really good too.
They have a couple songs that are on my daily playlist that I do not miss for real.
Nice, that's awesome.
Because there's just that certain song that hits you at that certain time in your life that just resonates with your soul forever. Yep. And I could go back and listen to that song, and it takes me back to like the specific time I heard it, and it's with something really fun going on, and it's just
that's how I feel about the Ian Young song, Inspiration. I could play that song a million times a day and never get tired of it. That is on my my daily playlist. That's just an absolutely phenomenal track, man. Unbelievable. But it takes me back. It just makes me happy. All reggae makes me happy. But that just puts a big fat ass smile on my face every time I hear it, man.
I'd be hard pressed to tell you because 9 times that's all I have ever playing in the background. So it's
me too.
I got.
Me too. That's it. Yep.
I'm not a streamer. I actually run a Spotify server that I just constantly play whoever I feel like playing to help them get their stuff. I make little playlists of whatever drops each week.
Oh, you curate playlists?
Yeah, of course. Why not? I have an extra laptop, whatever.
That's awesome.
Because I buy, download all my stuff and keep my own playlists and all that. I'm just old school that way. So I think I can't even tell you how many songs are on my current reggae thing. Actually, I can't. But it's a lot. It's like
that's awesome, dude.
80,000 right now or something. It's
that's
insane.
Great, man. Yeah, so you could actually have a radio station that would play for an entire year off one playlist.
Actually, it would play. So my current playlist is 8,442 songs.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man.
And that's basically the last whatever, like 6 months of release songs. That's just the more recent stuff. So, it's funny because 10 years ago, not even like a decade ago, I listened to every genre of music. Not every, but I liked my rock. I liked my 90s progressive and alternative. I liked my old school, what we would call classic rock, I still like Foreigner and Aerosmith and all that. And then within like the last decade, I rarely listen to anything outside the modern American reggae. With the roots definitely mixed in.
Yeah.
But definitely heavy on the on the modern stuff, especially all the new albums when they drop. I play new albums endlessly.
Sure, that's great, man.
Because that's just the way I've always done it. Because I'm used to buying that thing at the record store, coming home with my CD or my whatever,
amen, absolutely,
and listening to that on repeat over and over. And that's how I still do it. Like I am still jamming to Michael Franti is one of my faves, and he just dropped a new album on Friday, and I literally in my truck. It's been nothing but Michael Franti since Friday.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we actually did that with the last Tribal Seeds, their newest one that just dropped. It was I know every word to every song because the exact same thing, start to finish.
Ancient Blood is an amazing.
Ancient Blood, album. 100%. It's beautiful, and I like how they actually took some of their old tracks and threw them in there. You know what I mean? To kind of get them back in the rotation of people who might be new Tribal Seeds fans. I think it's actually smart to do for bands. If you have a new album, throw some some of your old classics on there.
I'm actually quite surprised that bands even drop albums anymore.
Right? Yeah.
Because with
A
with
lot
the
of them do,
streaming.
yeah, sure, singles.
Yeah, just
Yep.
drop, instead of dropping an album a year, drop one song a month.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yep. Which is
because you're gonna get
that's the
you
smart
get
thing
more
to do.
plays per song that way, and
You do. You do.
there's always been. I mean, it's not rare. I wouldn't say rare, but it's uncommon to have an album where you love every single track on a
I
song
agree.
on their album,
Yep.
right? There's always gonna be
Absolutely.
that one you're like, ooh, it's like like a faster band slows it down. It's just not your
Yeah.
feeling, or
Yep.
they try do something a little different. You're like, oh, I don't know about that one.
Right.
But then there's that when that album comes out, like Ancient Blood, and you're just like, what? I can't. There's no songs to skip. Why would I skip a song on
Exactly.
that?
Yeah, every single song, and my wife's sitting over there smiling at me. Yeah, every single song on Ancient Blood is just fire. All of them. I mean, they have the one track Tokyo where they kind of. It's amazing. They did it. They pulled it off. It's wild. So I'm probably gonna after this podcast throw it on. We're talking about it. That's fantastic, man. So, is there a particular message or vibe that you try to maintain across both VB Reggae and Rootfire?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're pretty much literally the same message. I mean, obviously, VB
Sure.
Reggae is way but low on the totem pole compared to what Rootfire can do for people, or for bands or the community. But yeah, it's just actually, you know what? Your quote actually probably nails it better than anything I could come up with in my head. But
Strengthen
yeah,
unity,
it's
build your community. Yeah.
that's what it's about. I mean, yeah, to me, and I think that's what got Reed attracted to Virginia Beach reggae and how we, got together so easily and seamlessly, is because it's the same thing. I was just doing on an extremely local level, uh, you know, doing what Rootfire does for the elevators or Steel Pulse or the movement, and I do it
Sure.
for Cultivated Mind and Vince Lee Music and Young Lion and uh, you know uh, the Seven Vibe Syndicate, Lost Soul Society. There's just it's why don't you want to uplift somebody else? I mean,
Amen.
that's what the question comes down to, right? If you can do something, and that could be as simple as liking something on Facebook. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm spending hours a day creating media, and it can just be like liking and commenting or sharing, and or just the word of mouth. Like the amount of times I've walked into some place with that band shirt on, and somebody be like, oh, stick figure, and you're like, oh yeah, you like reggae? Yeah. Oh, hey, I own this company called VB Reggae.
Nice.
I have this awesome calendar app that's 100% free. You can hop on it. You never miss a reggae show.
That's great,
And
man.
that's how I love to promote it, because that's why I created it, because I don't want you to miss the show. If you miss it because you don't want to be there.
Right.
Not because you did know
Because you
it
didn't
was
know
happening.
about it. Exactly.
Because that's the worst feeling in the world, especially with the bigger guys. I mean, I know not everybody can go out every night to every show. I certainly don't. I would, I probably overdo it way more than I should, anyways. But if you're informed, then that I've done my job.
Amen. And that's what knowledge is power, man. You know what I mean? It's all about information, baby.
Yeah,
And
and anybody can do it. I mean, literally every one of us can, especially nowadays, social media. All you gotta do is hit that share, hit that like. Those things matter for algorithms and
certainly.
all the back end stuff to get more and more people to see it. You hit it, then guess what? Facebook's gonna be like, oh, hey, if you liked it, maybe your 800 friends would like to see it. Boop, boop,
Yep.
boop.
Yeah, and that's what I always tell people. I have my Hippie-Fari Reggae Radio and podcast stickers. You know what I mean? I hand them out. You like stickers? Yeah. I was like, hop on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. It does matter.
Yeah, of course it
Yeah,
does.
it's
Yeah,
it's just definitely a big deal.
because my moniker would be one more fan.
Amen. I like
Just
that.
if whatever I do garners whoever I'm trying to help one more fan, that's just going to snowball. That guy's going to be, or that girl, going to be, hey, check what I just found out, and then that person probably, and next thing you know, that one fan's turned into 100.
That's
And
it.
that's how VB Reggae went from 300 to 10,000. I couldn't
10,000,
believe we made
yeah.
it 10,000.
Yeah.
10,000 Virginia Beach. That's crazy.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, you made it. You made it you took it to a national scale. You know what I mean? There was strength and unity, so you built that community, and that's amazing, man. You got a lot of like-minded people that are that are on board and kind of seeing the words put into action. That's an absolutely beautiful thing. That's why I love reggae music so much, man. So, what's one challenge that you faced in managing online communities for music, and how did you overcome it? Oh, well, I'm sure you've
uh,
had a bunch, but is there one that just like sticks out?
absolutely, I will 100% say a thousandfold ticket scammers or
Oh no,
I wouldn't say scalpers because I mean, hey, scalping's your business, but we at any show that's ticketed that is of any importance,
sure,
we Brittany handles a good 90% of it, but it is constant because we are a public group. I could definitely go private and you know help stop that a little bit,
right,
but I think that would take greatly away from our reach.
right,
um so we work diligently to verify our ticket sellers. We Our process is literally just the two of us, and our process is, we if we have like friends, luckily a good majority of the ones we really know are
you
people
are
we really know.
you know them. That's
uh,
good.
you know we have 10,000 members, but I'd say 3,000 of us are like really core Virginia Beach people,
Okay,
like just like people who you see once a month at a show at least type people. And it's really easy to, I mean, it's really easy to find the fakes.
sure, of
They,
course.
just simple look at their profile, no history, no like friends. They just joined the group today,
Yep,
etc., etc. Easy block, blah blah.
yep.
And and like we said, we do the best we can. And if you are somebody we know, we rate you as a VB Reggae certified seller.
That's great.
Meaning, like that brings no guarantee. I'm not.
But still,
You know,
it's better than not being rated. You know what I mean? So at least people have some peace of mind.
Yeah, I would say if I put that on your page and you end up screwing one of the other members of the page,
And
well,
you're
I know you enough to put that on there. We're gonna make it right.
yes,
Uh,
absolutely, 100%.
so that, but yeah, by far the ticketing thing is insane.
Yeah,
And we incorporated a couple easy things. We have like a one format on VB Reggae that you have to follow. If you try to submit it without it being in that format, we just, message you and be like, hey, could you, and we send it to you, hey, please reformat this and we'll approve it. That's kind of a big, easy one because if they don't come back and do that, it was just a bot doing it. So, it's not,
right.
legit.
Well, that's
Um,
good. At least you have a system. You know what I mean? That's nice. That's a
Yeah,
level
and
of
that's
comfort.
100% Brittany Allen. 100%, she was the one who was like, "Hey, this is what we need to do." We tried some other things like doing a chat for it, and it just takes elbow grease, and
Yeah, and you have two
you know,
people. You only have so much.
But I mean, I have friends who every day see a show that gets announced, and they just Google that name, and then they hit the first link they see, and that's a resale site, and they're like, "Man, I had to pay $85 for a ticket." I'm like, "Why'd you pay $85 for a ticket? They're $15,
Right,
dude."
right.
You know,
Yeah.
because and that's why I'm like, "Hey, look, go to their site, go from their ticket link, or go to the Rootfire calendar.
Yep.
I guarantee all the links are correct because I put them in there myself."
Yep. Amen.
So,
Right on.
and don't get think if it looks shaky, don't hit, contact us. Just send us a
Sure.
message and be like, "Hey, is this the legit site?" "No, you're on the totally wrong site. Go to this site to get your tickets."
Right. Very
And
nice.
and and I understand how it gets confusing because the bands and the venues who are doing like the pre-sales might be on one ticket vendor, and then once it comes to the real show, it might move over to Ticketmaster or Eventbrite or whatever. So multiple shows can have multiple legitimate ticket sources, but there's maybe two, maybe three at most for certain shows.
Sure.
But there'll be 1,000 resale sites trying to sell tickets,
Yeah, I
or
heard.
and
100%, man.
another 1,000 people trying to be. It's always a good giveaway when they be like, "I have 4 tickets or 3 tickets,"
Right.
because nobody ever selling 4 tickets. I
No,
mean,
exactly.
very
One.
rarely.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they always say something like, "Oh, I got sick, I can't make it," or "Forgot I have to go out of town." It's always, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
Some yeah can BS excuse.
yeah.
Yeah.
But for 100%, that is the hardest thing. We have very little drama happen. We put I keep politics as much as we can out. Like I
Oh
don't
yeah.
delete.
Absolutely.
I won't approve your thing, but I won't kill your comment if you say something.
I
There's
get it.
always
Sure.
somebody promoting something that we don't agree with. But I'm not going to cut you off unless you go like crazy.
Yeah.
But we have
Absolutely.
I mean, the only people we've ever really blocked are the ticket people. There's been a couple other instances of whatever, some sort of drama going on, and we're just like, hey, just stop. That's just
Yeah.
do this on your page, not in
Yeah.
VB
Not the
Reggae.
place
You
for
know,
it. Exactly. Time and a place for
uh,
everything, man.
but yeah, tickets by far. Other than that, really no big issues. Had some of my merch ripped off a little bit with a company that took literally all the stuff they saw on my page and were like doing horrible shirts with them.
Oh
Um,
no.
but we were able to squash that really quick. Other than that, yeah, VB Reggae runs very smoothly. It does. We have, you know, we get good interactions every day. We get good traffic. I can't tell you how many posts we do each. I mean, I could technically go and look, but I don't follow those because that's not what it's about. It's about just making sure the messages that we are pushing out are what we, uh, what we want them to be. What we have a certain image we like to keep, and that is, one love and promote reggae and not much else. So
Absolutely. Well, speaking of ticket sales, since we were just talking about, if you could collaborate with any artist, past or present, for a Rootfire or VB Reggae event, who would it be and why?
oh my god, I mean, of
Yeah.
course, past present 100% be Bob Marley in that,
And the elevator, sure.
but yeah, but I'm gonna Bob Marley by far, but
Okay.
I'll take them and the elevators out of it just because
Yeah.
that's anybody who knows me would be like, okay, that's gonna be the elevators, duh. Um, oh man, who? See, I've been so lucky that I've kind of, I also have worked for a couple other companies that have allowed me to work with some great artists already. So I've kind of had my dream come true, to tell you the truth. Um, but for somebody who I have not had the chance to really work with and would love to, yeah, sure, do something with, let me think. Let me think for a second. I would say, that's a hard one, man, because like I said, all right, I'm gonna blow your mind here.
All right.
I'm gonna go with, and this is only because the chance it would be Catch a Fire.
Right on.
Only because the chances I've never even seen them live.
Right.
They're Australian dudes,
Uh-huh.
so I don't think, yeah, it would have to be them because I've been blessed, man. I've been able to work with, you know. Slightly Stupid and Stick Figure and Fortunate Youth and
Sure.
the Movement
Yep.
and Elevators. I have literally, been part of multiple, events with those guys. So that's a hard one. And I could go wait. Oh man, that's hard. That is hard.
Yeah.
That is hard because yeah.
That's the fun
But
part, man.
but honestly, now that I think a little bit more about it, I would have to go with one of those guys who I'd want to see really make it, who I really like as a up and coming band.
Yeah.
To do as much for them to help push them, like on a trajectory like these other bands have had.
I got a question for you. Have you ever heard of the band? I believe they're out of Oregon. I think it's Rubber Tree. Have you ever heard
Oh
of
yeah,
them?
Rubber Tree, absolutely,
Man, oh
absolutely.
man. I ever since the first day I heard them, I was like, I would love to
I
see them
want
again. They
to
are
want
phenomenal.
to. Okay, so my memory gets rough, and I'd have to look. But I want to say one of the other great local bands, Cultivated. My gosh, One Culture
One culture,
did
yes.
might have done a collab with Rubber Tree.
They did.
I
Yes,
want to say right.
yeah, they did an absolutely phenomenal collaboration with Rubber Tree.
So
Yes,
yeah, of course that probably came out, and 100%, or Kurt probably told me about it. I was like, oh, let me go check out Rubber Tree. So, and that's what I love. That's exactly what I want to happen every time with everybody's.
yeah,
Is when
amen.
they go, and that's why I love the collabs because I wouldn't have
Yes,
found
sure.
so many like who else did he turn me on to? 9 to Fire.
No, I was just gonna ask you if you heard of 9 to 5. Whenever you
Yeah,
mentioned that Australian man, FYAH, 9 to 5 is absolutely phenomenal,
yeah.
man. Their style is so smooth, man. Yeah,
So
let me. It's 9-2 and then FYAH for anybody listening. 9 to 5.
yeah,
They are
yeah.
absolutely phenomenal band, man. Phenomenal, and it's crazy. Not a lot of people, you'll mention them. They're big. They have a pretty good following on Spotify, but it's kind of hit or miss. I'll bring like them up or Rub a Tree up or my favorite artist right now out of the UK, Holly Cook. A lot of people haven't heard of Holly Cook. She got like 18 million Spotify streams a month, but no 18 million on her top track, like over 500,000 listeners a month. There's a lot of people over here that aren't familiar, so it's kind of crazy, that reggae is definitely worldwide, and it's over there in the UK and in Europe. It's massive, way, 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 way bigger than we can imagine. So there's a lot of artists that blow up over there that a lot of people don't really hear about over here, which is a shame. But that's my job, kind of. I think to talk about them and to get it out there.
Someone just has to start up a UK reggae.
That's it, man. Hell yeah. I love it. So what advice would you give to somebody wanting to start a local music community or a grassroots media collective, or I wouldn't even say start their own? There's already one that exists, so go ahead and join this community. What's the advice you want to give someone? Like for me, for example, I know it's a lot of work. I already do a ton of stuff. I'm in bands. I have the podcast, all that kind of stuff. But doing the working with Rootfire and doing that calendar sounds like something neat. So, what advice would you give me if I wanted to start that and kind of build it?
Oh, I would say for enter with good intentions, which I know you obviously already have. And yeah, like I said, it is good. It is work. It is hard work. It's staying on top of things. It's your reward is exactly doing that. Is watching these bands grow, and hopefully, more seats get filled at every show because of what you are helping with.
Amen.
But yeah, I mean, just bring a good state of mind to it, and be ready to put your nose to the grindstone when it needs to happen, and
certainly
hard work makes it happen.
Amen.
It does.
Yes.
Hard work beats luck any day of the week.
Sure.
So not every dude is going to be on Facebook, or sorry, on like YouTube and be the next Justin Bieber or whatever, and get found by somebody famous and be like, oh my gosh, you're amazing, and next thing you know, you're the biggest superstar. It's going to work by you, putting the time. So a community host does foster that, though. I mean, they need to be, responsible, have a really good work ethic.
Yes. Well, yeah, because especially a calendar, it's weekly, man. You got to be on top of it. You can't miss. You know what I mean? If people are relying on you to give them information, you can't skip time. You know what I mean? You got to be on it.
That's exactly it, and that it's a lot of repetition, so it can get boring. But you know what? I learned a long time ago that I sleep. Let's just make the math easy. Say 8 hours a day. So I have so I have 16 hours a day to do everything else I need to do.
Right.
I have plenty of time in 16 hours to work on a calendar for an hour, let's say.
Yeah,
or
sure.
Maybe even 2. You
don't seem like a guy that sleeps 8 hours a night, though. Were you just making that number up?
Oh yeah, that just makes the math easy. 8 and 16.
Yeah.
I'm more like a 6 guy. 6
yeah, all right. So. Yeah, I hear you. Me too. But then my problem is I'll catch up. Like if I have nothing to do or I don't think I have anything to do, a nap for me turns into sleeping to the next day. I can't nap. Like I pass out, man.
I am 100% anti-nap.
Yeah,
I'm a big proponent of if you don't reach REM sleep, it's not worth it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not a napper. I'm a 12. I'm like a 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. sleeper.
Okay,
and
cool.
Then,
nice.
And I get up and literally the first thing I do is check my email, see if I have anything from Rootfire for the day, and then I start scrubbing the concert calendar.
Nice, that's awesome.
A lot. Like I said, we do have we partnered with this great company to help run the calendar, and it does scrub a bunch of the ticket sites and pick up reggae shows automatically. But I'm very like OCD, so like if they don't all have the same concert posters, I go and fix that kind of thing.
Nice.
I double check all the links just to make sure the ticket links are taking you to legitimate ticket sites. I've never ran across that not being the case, but I just check it anyways.
Right.
Make sure the start time's correct. It's a quick scan. And luckily, each band only really does maybe one, maybe two tours a year, so it's not that much. It's for me personally, VB Reggae, it's the local bands because we have, three, probably this time of year, like 3 shows a week, maybe 4. But coming up here in the next month when summer really kicks off and all the outdoor places are open at the beach, we'll have, 5 or 6 of Saturday night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Especially with these big guys coming by, like, big festival, with Point Break coming through again.
Yeah, Point Break. That's huge. If the people listening right now haven't had a chance to look at that flyer, just look up Point Break Music Festival in Virginia. It is stacked.
It is.
Yeah, it's incredible.
This year is super stacked. It really is.
Yeah, it's absolutely an incredible show.
And it's right on the beach. I mean, like I said, we had sworn off festivals. We don't even go to.
Yeah.
We don't even go. Yeah, if it's in my backyard.
Yeah, that's right around the corner. That's nuts, man.
It's phenomenal to finally see that here.
Right.
Like I said, we do get every mainstream band through here. Everybody hits our amphitheater, or the big guys. The Norv is an amazing venue that gets plenty of, that's where just all tribal seeds.
Sure.
So we have pretty much every venue for every size band that rolls through. So they definitely always stop through here. But to have, actually, you know what? It's kind of a shot in the foot too, because when you get all those bands at a festival, because like radius clauses and all that good stuff, then you're not going to see them either, on either side of that festival for like, if they're real tour
months.
Yeah. So you're like,
yep.
But actually this year it works out very well because some of those bands either had already been here earlier in the year or are coming later in the year. So,
right.
It works out. I think it works out well. And, like I said, front yard, I live 3 miles away from where the event is. So,
that's great, man.
I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah. Well, you could actually charge for parking in your front yard. You're so close.
I could, but we already have like 12 people or something staying with us.
Right, I'm sure.
we have some of our DMV fam from up in Northern Virginia are coming in, and we have actually 2 of our good friends from Colorado, Todd, Savannah, Lockwood, are flying out to
nice, man.
Spend a whole week with us. And speaking of reggae community, we met Ted and Savannah at Closer to the Sun.
Oh, beautiful.
And we have flown to Denver to see them and go to shows at Red Rocks, and they have come out to visit us, and we've gone and even met at other places like Baltimore and spent a weekend together. So we have become incredibly tight friends all through reggae. So,
that is a beautiful thing, man. Absolutely. Once again, man, it's that community. You can't beat it, dude. So, looking ahead, what's next for VB Reggae and Rootfire that people listening right now should definitely keep an eye on? And then after that, tell them how to keep an eye on it.
Okay, yeah. So VB Reggae, hopefully we'll just continue to do what we're doing. I don't think, we will hopefully be expanding onto other social media platforms this year.
Sure.
Just to have a bigger reach.
Sure.
It's just, getting used to those.
Once you get on TikTok, you're gonna, dude. Just wait until you hit TikTok. Just wait. It's gonna go absolutely berserk, bonkers, crazy.
So we just gotta figure out how and who and whatever. So VB Reggae will maintain pretty much what it does.
Okay.
As far as Rootfire, I would love to see us gather enough chapter hosts that we have pretty much the whole country covered. Maybe even one day internationally at that matter. It'd be great to have, massive chapter hosts in, throughout Florida and California, Arizona. We currently have Dallas, Fort Worth covered. We have Utah. We have Philly, New Jersey area covered.
Okay, great.
We're working on Massachusetts, Boston area. But yeah, if hopefully it'll just go. My hope is that anytime I ever see somebody on a social media platform be like, "Hey, yo, I'm in whatever for this weekend. What's happening?" That somebody other than me says, "Hey, hit the Rootfire calendar."
Right.
That would be a major goal for me, just to see more people be like, hey, it's free. It's right on your phone. It's not an app. It's just a website. So
Yep, yep,
you just,
yep.
there's nothing to sign up for, anything. But we do have, Rootfire itself. It's all interconnected. We have awesome contests, lots of giveaways of different merch and like posters and you know,
Yep.
whatever,
Hmm.
new album releases, whatever. And the easiest way to do it, hey, hit, VB Reggae, is on Facebook. It's just, VB as in Virginia Beach Reggae. And, for Rootfire, it's just, www.rootfire.net.
Yep.
Um,
Beautiful.
right on the front page, has all the leading articles that are going on. There's one of the first tabs is the concert calendar. Like I said, you click on it, it geosyncs with whether, it asks you for your location. If you share your location, it geosyncs with you, and then you just set the mileage. I can't remember what it defaults to. I think it's 150.
Hmm.
But you can set it to like 10 or 15 or 20, and, hopefully, if we're all doing our jobs, you'll see every show that is, coming near you in the next, you know, forever for that matter. So,
That is
um,
absolutely fantastic, man. That's a beautiful thing, dude. So nobody now has an excuse to say that they missed a show or that they didn't know where one was, because all they have to do is literally go to rootfire.net, hop on that calendar, put in the radius. I would say a good 50-mile radius, especially for me, because then I'd catch all the ones in Orlando too, if anybody was coming through Orlando, and
right.
then I
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get, I get
It's,
Tampa and all that stuff too. So
Yeah, it's just your personal preference, like for
yeah,
me, I don't do that because, I'm like, I can put like 15 miles in and I'll probably have, actually, you know what? I'm on my site right now.
nice.
If I put 15 miles in, I have, over, yeah, over the next, actually, there's not a lot of shows coming really, really, really soon. So, uh, it's a slow week for reggae this week here.
Well,
But,
now you can breathe and start cultivating more playlists, right?
yeah, so the problem is it's Monday. Most of the guys won't have too many, won't have their gigs out because
Sure.
I can only post what I see.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, heard.
but my daily thing is when I hop on the computer, like I said, first thing I check is for any emails I need to do anything fast for, and my next thing is I just, I hit all the bands I know locally pages and be like, hey, when's and hit their events, and if they have something posted and it's not on my calendar, I put it on the calendar.
Yeah, I did a
So
calendar. That's awesome, man.
it's we got a couple larger shows coming up, and of course the biggest is, as we've said multiple times,
Point
Point
Break.
Break.
Yep. Uh huh.
Um, but we have over the summer we have Steel Pulse coming, and we have who we got. Oh God, I'm forget them all off the top of my head. But we have um, Ziggy Marley and Burning
Ah,
Spear
very nice.
coming.
Yep.
We have Diamond Frankenrider and G Love. We have uh, uh,
I
yeah,
love
I can't think of
Gilo.
anybody else. Yeah. Oh yeah, me too.
That's awesome,
Um,
man.
so yeah, it should be. It's always a good summer. Summer, like I said, always opens us up because we have, we're a beach town. If that's literally in the name, Virginia Beach Reggae. So and Florida, you're lucky enough to keep the weather pretty decent all year. We have our little winters where we kind
Yeah,
of roll up,
sure.
we kind of roll up the streets. So like technically Memorial Day kicks us off for us. Um, so probably a little bit sooner than
Love
that.
it. Yeah.
But that's technically when they say, and it goes to like October. We can have, everything that's outdoors is open till like October. So
That is
May
beautiful, man.
May through October we have a really large amount of different outdoor places and bars or places with patios that support reggae, and so it becomes exponentially busier throughout as the warmer it gets. So
Nice, man. Well, I think you've pretty much decided where me and my wife are going to take our summer trip, so that's absolutely fantastic, man.
oh hey, yeah, we can definitely work that out.
Definitely looking forward to it, man. All right, so finally, if reggae had a message for the world in this moment right now, what do you think it would be?
Ooh, I would. Ooh, man, that's a reggae as a whole.
I know. I mean, came up with this question, and I was like, I still don't even really. I'm thinking about it still. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's a
so
good one.
with reggae, like I like the modern American reggae to me, I mean, you definitely have your songs that have a true message to them.
Sure.
But to me, a lot more, they're I don't know, they're like more fun reggae
Yeah, absolutely. Party
than
reggae.
like
Yeah.
the original roots reggae that was all about, like
It was
uprising
militant.
and
Yes.
yeah, and
Which I love that, man. Yeah.
and so I do, and I think I don't think we need that militant message. I mean, there's always a time for that. Trust me, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so I 100% know the militant side.
Sure.
But I mean, this is so cheesy, but I think like going back to your quote, and just it's not even just reggae. It's just the message period. Just be good to others, and
Amen.
and one love, and
Get up, stand up, baby.
and just keep the community going. Make it such a community that we are now our family.
Yes.
You
Amen.
know, just treat each other with respect. Help uplift everybody. There's no, there's like you said, there's no reason for competition. I don't think too many reggae guys are really. I mean, their managers and shit are 100%, but are really watching the charts, and be like, I
Right.
mean, yes, getting a number one hit is bad, but nobody's doing it to be like, oh, ha ha ha, guys, I
Right.
got a number one, you didn't have one yet, I mean, I think it's just, yeah, just help lift up and empower every single thing that's reggae related. Period. Spread the word more. I can't, just like you said. How many people have said like reggae? I don't listen to reggae, and then they listen to reggae and they're like, "Oh, that's reggae,"
Right.
and you're
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,"
You didn't realize it.
So that way, that is really good question, Scott. That's really good.
Beautiful. I love that, man. Thank you.
But yeah, 100%. I think the message is just to be a good person and listen to reggae. I
Amen.
mean,
I love it. And by doing so, by listening to reggae music, I believe it does help you become a good person. Because you are what you are. You are what you eat. You are what you listen to. Your brain's a computer. What goes in is what goes out. You know
well,
what I mean?
I can tell you, I see way less fights at reggae
Oh
shows than
yeah,
I did
man.
any
Oh
other
yeah.
genre I
Hundred
ever went
percent.
to.
100%.
So, I mean, that speaks upon itself to me, right? I mean, there's
Even
always that one bad apple, but they were probably a friend who got brought.
right,
So,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Cousin Johnny. You know what I mean? Like, come
yeah.
on, man. Yeah, we're leaving you at home next time.
But for the most part, I mean, I love every time I go out to a show and I get to see the VB Reggae fam, as we call it, and everybody's just, I get to see my logo on stuff and people just high fiving and hugging and,
It's
you
beautiful,
know,
man.
sharing the smoke outside and just,
Yep, yep.
and there to see the bands that we all love and just, and shout out to I've had a few run-ins with a couple of band members who have not been the nicest of people, but by far the majority of every single reggae artist I've ever met has been just like you're one of their kids or something almost. They just
Certainly.
go above and beyond and be so thankful that you're there to support them, and they're just so humble about their music, and I can't believe this. Oh my god, these people came to see me. It's just it's always just awesome to be able to see some bands or performers just love you as much as you love them. It's just, yeah, I don't think there's music like that anyplace else. Or
And
or a community like that anyplace else. It's something. It's one of those it factors that you can't identify. It
sure,
just is.
sure. And you're exactly right. I definitely could not agree with you more, man. 100%. Glenn, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for taking this time out of taking your valuable time out of your evening to come on Hippie-Fari Reggae Radio and Podcast and share what has been an unbelievable wealth of knowledge with the listeners. I There we go. Whenever I play the clap track, for some reason it sounds really distorted, so I stopped doing that. But a giant round of applause for you, man. Thank you so much, dude. We really appreciate it, bro. It's just been an absolute pleasure talking to you. You're a stand-up guy. You have a wealth of knowledge, and it's absolutely amazing what you're doing for the community. being involved in Rootfire with VB Reggae, and you're not just stopping there, you're growing it, you're teaching people how to grow it, you're involved in its growth, and that's just a beautiful thing, man. So thank you so much, dude. We really appreciate it.
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate you, man. I love what you're doing. You need to keep it going just as much. You were just when we were talking the other day, and the lineup of artists and stuff you have coming on and already had on is absolutely amazing. It's my honor to be a part of your podcast. So I
Well, thank
appreciate you
you.
having me.
Well, that means a lot, dude. I really, really, really appreciate that. So this is Scotty, the high strung hippie from Seed from a Tree. Check us out at seedfromatree.com. And I'm reminding you to speak your mind before somebody else does it for you. Now, do something nice for somebody today. Grab flowers for your partner, smoke out a stranger, slip the homeless man a buck. But whatever you do, do it from the heart, because all good things start with the heart. Peace, love, and Rasta rhythms are all a part of that reggae revolution. One love, fam.